screens. This just shows the steering of the unit. As I turn the steering wheel, the front unit moves from side to side. Showing the steering and the kick-out feature that just before I hit this post here, I touch a button and it kicks the back head out around the post, and this helps it. I'm just watching the cordon right now, keeping the saws centered on either side of it and controlling the height. And as I approach that post, I just touch this little blue button and out it pops. About 80% of my concentration is focused on keeping the two saws centered around the cordon. And with the steering the way it's set up, the tractor just follows what's happening with the saws. I'll do a post without hitting the blue button. You see, it does go around it. It just gives the post a bit of a nudge. We're going about 2.3 kilometers an hour. And that's about the maximum that you want to hit the post because it does give a little bit of a nudge. Good post, I'll let it hit it. Yeah, bounces the head out a little bit further and you miss a little bit on the back side of the post. are looking at the main chopping unit, right about cordon level, straight out in front of it. The whole unit pivots right around the center of the tractor at the same place that the front axle of the tractor pivots, which is right in behind that valve there. Here's a little bit better angle of that same pivot. It's right there on the center of the screen. And that allows the outside wheel there to pivot freely over bumps and spreads the weight out, takes it off the tractor, so it takes some of the twist off the tractor and gives the whole unit a lot more stability. Because normally when you go over a little dip, go through a dip or go over a bump with the rear tire, it really swings the chopper units around to one side, and this outside wheel really stabilizes that. Another feature that it has is this cylinder that's on the back of the side shift unit, just in front of the bonnet on the tractor. And what that cylinder does is we're feeding that cylinder a constant pressure that is taking weight off of the outside wheel and putting it over onto the frame of the tractor. And that's just so that if that outside wheel does have a bump to go over, it goes through a very sharp dip, that it's only lightly on the ground, and it tends to protect the unit from wanting to, I guess, rip it right off of its frame. So it's just lightly on the ground out there, and that pressure is adjustable. The little vertical tower here on the front in the center with a pivot on the top of it is the auto level part of the machine. It's actually a little tank that has an oil bath in it and a paddle hanging down in that oil bath that kind of dampens it. So as you're going over some bumpy ground, it just takes the jiggles out of it, and there's two proximity switch sensors down there at the bottom that are sensing when it's level or when it's out of level. The heart of the steering is this, once again, proximity switch sensors here, and this is hooked to the front wheel. So when the operator turns the steering wheel, it then gives a signal over to this center section. There's a cylinder tucked up inside there that actually shifts this vertical boom, the over-the-row boom. It shifts it back and forth, so that the operator, in essence, is just looking at the saws around the cordon, and he turns the steering wheel to center the saws, and the tractor ends up following. So the operator isn't required to be looking down the row trying to keep the thing centered. He just purely looks at the saws, centers the cordon around it, and steers accordingly.